Have you ever had someone offer you a gift and then go around bragging about it? Have you ever had a gift for someone and after they received it, did not say thank you or nor appreciate the effort? Have you ever given advice to someone and they decided to toss your opinion to the side? And it makes you even want to question why even offer the advice or the gift, doesn't it? Well, once upon a time, there was a young teenager who had a person they wanted to impress. This boy did all that he could to impress the friend, buying the other person tons of gifts, remembering the birthday, and doing everything he could to make the other person feel special. He would sit with this other person during lunch, even when not invited. This guy named Jack did everything to try and win Peter's attention. And Jack was desperate to find a friend. Peter was often uncomfortable and did not want to embarrass Jack. He simply did not know what to say or do. Jack would even buy Peter's favorite snacks, wash Peter's Lexus, and do Peter's homework for him just to make him happy. One day, upon invitation from another popular guy in school, Peter went to play basketball in the park. And when Jack heard this, he was mad that he wasn't invited and yelled at Peter, saying, "I did all this for you." Brothers and sisters, this is not just a short story for a homily, but oftentimes our own hearts in relation to other people in our lives. We sacrifice so much for our kids, our spouse, friends, our own self, and many times there is little reciprocity. We don't get back the love as we desire or as we expect. Now, whose fault is that? Must Peter be forced to be Jack's friend? Isn't it enough for Peter to be kind? Why was Jack so adamant in expecting something from Peter in return? Possibly Jack did not realize that he didn't need Peter's attention. He didn't need anything else but God's love. And the same is true for you and for me. Friends, our whole being is made to glorify God. He made us. We are to be like him, to live life self-sacrificially. But we are called to live life sacrificially as the Lord directs us, not as our body, not as our mind, or not as our hearts wills us to do. For this reason, we are called. We are given a vocation. The Catechism speaks to the gift of vocation in the following: the human person needs to live in society and through the exchange of others with mutual service and dialogue with his brethren. Man develops his potential. He thus responds to his vocation. Brothers and sisters, through vocation, through God's call, we get to know ourselves as we truly are, God's own. Meaning, if the Lord has given you the gift of motherhood, that is not all that you are. If the Lord has given you the gift of fatherhood, that is not all that you are. If he has kept you single, you are more than just that. You are an instrument. You are to share God's love the very way you are, not tomorrow or in 10 years when you think everything is better, but today. Therefore, friends, we give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. And do you know what belongs to Caesar? It's that which is temporary, which does not define you and me. It is that which will end. It is that which dies. It is that which suffocates. It is that which does not set you free. On the other hand, do you know what belongs to God? You. So why worry about useless things? Pay the tax. Obey the law. Let society know that Christianity is not something for a few people to partake in, but rather a gift from God to return to his love with joy. What belongs to God is worship of him. What belongs to God is expecting nothing else but him. What belongs to God is the service you give others because of him, because at the very end of the day, no one will appreciate us and our gifts more than God alone. This is true no matter the vocation. Simply put, friends, every work that affects our union with God in a holy fellowship is a true sacrifice. And when we sacrifice our time, our talent, and our treasures, offering any good gift in the hope of God's own mercy, we please God because it enables us to recognize who we really are. Therefore, friends, we do it for God. Do what, you may ask? Everything. So what if they don't appreciate you or don't like you? Do what you are supposed to do and let God handle the rest. The Lord calls you and me to be instruments of his grace. You and I, and our own grace doesn't go far enough, and our own grace dies when we die. You and I are not the true arbiters of justice because our own justice is not just enough. God is the Savior. God is the judge. He sees everything and only asks that we trust in him. And when we truly surrender to this love, not the world's love or lack thereof, when we truly surrender to the love of God, you will encounter peace. Friends, do you guys remember the questions we reflected upon earlier? Let's think about it again. Do you know who will never give you a gift and brag about it? Do you know who gives gifts to us in abundance, yet we fail to say thank you and appreciate the effort? Do you know who advises us always? And even when we decide to look away and toss his invitation to the side, this answer is Jesus. He is the key. He is the antidote. It is him we serve at all times. It is his love that we must focus upon. Because when we do, there simply remains one thing to do after all of our hard work and sacrifice. And here's a hint. It is the very last thing said at Mass. Friends, the finality of all our work, toil, sacrifice, and even joy and being is to say with great praise and thanksgiving and honor, thanks be to God. We thank him for the honor of serving him and for the unique privilege of knowing God.